Ladies and gentlemen, we are back with episode 3 on the how-to series. In episode 1, we learned how to frame this wall. Episode 2, we learned how to install the window. But on episode 3, the reason why you clicked on this video is to learn how to install vinyl siding. And not only are we going to learn how to install vinyl siding, but if you need to make a repair, I'll show you guys how to do that as well. Lastly, you guys, support is greatly appreciated. So if you guys can turn on your notifications, click a like, and the link for our Instagram is in the bio. We are posting content daily. On this YouTube channel, we are only posting content once a week between Wednesday and Friday. So without further ado, let's get into the video. So with the intro out of the way, let's get into step number 1. That's going to be preparation. We're not putting corner posts on this, but we're going to use some extra J-channel, and we had some extra vinyl in the storage that we've had for quite a while, so it doesn't match the J-channel. But step number 1 is going to be preparation. So that's setting up the J-channel, and then we're going to start with putting up the starter strip as well. So let's get into it. So our walls are 78.5 inches wide, and considering we don't have to worry about foundation or overlapping any of the starter or corner pieces or anything like that, that means I can cut the sides of this J-channel at exactly 78.5 inches. So that's exactly what I did. And now that I have my side pieces cut of J-channel, let's get those things installed. So since it is vinyl siding, we do not want to be nailing the nails tight to the wall. We want to have no more than a 1/4 inch gap between the wall and the amount that the nail is sticking out. So what that's going to do is it's going to make it be able to breathe in simple terms. There's a lot of things that can happen if you nail this tight. So just to trust me, do not nail this stuff tight. Alright, so now that we have the 2 pieces of J-channel on the sides done, and we've also done the vinyl J-channel around the window, it's time to put the starter strip up. If you guys want to see how to cut the J-channel for the window, the link for our Instagram is in the bio, and that's where you can find out how to do that step by step. So let's get into the starter strip. Alright, so the first thing with starter strip is you have to make sure you're leveling this stuff before you set it on. So what I did here was I put my laser level onto the wall, marked 3.5 on each side because this is 3 1/4, and I want to give myself a little bit of room when I'm putting in my first piece of vinyl siding. Also, I don't have to worry about overlapping because since it's the dummy wall, we don't have any foundation that we have to overlap. So let's get into putting on this starter strip.
Sorry, you don't know how lovely you are.
All right, so now it's time to talk a little bit. This material you can cut in many different ways. You can use a snips, a utility knife. You can even use a skill saw, just change the blade backwards. It's a little varying depending on the weather. If it's really cold out, the vinyl siding will chip when you use a skill saw. But the width of this wall is 48 inches. So we need a 1/4 inch of wiggle room on each end. That means I cut it at 47.5. These first few pieces are gonna go pretty easily, so I'll catch back up with you guys when I get to the bottom portion of this window here. Don't forget, 16 on center for the nails, no more than a 1/4 inch.
It was easy. No one ever said it would be this hard.
Alright guys, so we are back and now we are at the window cut. Believe it or not, this is not going to be too terribly hard. Just remember, a 1/4 inch space on each side. So these portions here were 15 inches, so I cut these portions at 14.5 inches. And then what I decided to do to find my run was, I noticed that this was about 7 1/4, so I moved it down to 7. And it's not too terribly hard. If you can scribe your measurements pretty well and get a good cut, this portion here is not too terribly difficult. So let's go ahead, cut that piece, and slap it on the dummy wall. All right, so we got our piece cut out here, and this is what it looks like if you're still trying to have some imaginary ideas of what it would look like. Yes, we are cutting off the nail fin on the top of the vinyl here, but that's not the end of the world. All right, so let's go ahead and see if this measurement checked out. All right, so everything checked out. We still have our wiggle room. We have our 1/4 inch here on both ends, and even down below here. So we are good to go on this. So let's go ahead and nail this down. And when we start getting these pieces put up here, it's gonna be like a cakewalk. But remember, always make sure you're checking your level every once in a while so you're not getting any slanty vinyl. All right, let's get to it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, so we are back. We were making sure that everything is level on our way up on each end here so far. We haven't had any troubles with the J channel, but now we're gonna get into this top portion cut here. If you can measure, always remember the 1/4 inch rule on each side so it has a little bit of wiggle room. And don't forget to be not nailing your nails too tight to the wall. So let me get these measurements real quick here.
We don't waste no precious time.
Don't you love it when a plan goes together? First cut, first try, and it fits just like a glove. Well, not necessarily like a glove because we have that 1/4 inch. If you're wondering how I'm getting these rip cuts on these pieces of vinyl, I'm using a really sharp utility blade knife. So I'll just cut my vertical ends here and then I'll run my utility knife along my scribed line. I'll run it across 3 or 4 times and you can give it a good bend. You'd be surprised how workable this vinyl material is. But all right, so now that we got this piece cut and everything works great, let's go ahead and nail it off.
She's got a smile that it seems to me reminds me of childhood memories where everything was as fresh as the bright blue sky.
All right, since you guys have made it this far, I have saved one last piece of J channel. Yeah, I'm gonna put J channel up here, just kind of give it a matching look to it. But this is the finishing stuff here. And I'll be quite honest, it's these finishing things that a lot of people who haven't done this before have a really difficult time doing. So let's go ahead and I'll show you guys how to finish this up. All right, so we are on the last piece of vinyl siding on the top, and I will show you guys the multiple ways you can install this last piece of very pesky vinyl siding. All right, so you see the bottom right here? One of the ways is you put 100% silicone in the bottom here. Because we have no nailing fin, a lot of people like to put it in that way and it snaps and the J channel will hold it in there. That's one way. There's another way too as well. The other way I've seen it have happen is they put 100% silicone on the top and they go crazy. They put a ton of silicone on the top and then maybe a little bit on the bottom as well. And that's probably definitely not falling off a little bit longer than the first one, but it's definitely a mess. And then we have the third option. They have little notching devices and it gives you basically the same space you have for a nail flange. But for some reason, a lot of people don't use that method. Those are one of the 3 methods that I know to finish this top piece. Hopefully that helps you guys when you have that difficult top piece in your future. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are officially complete. We finished the last and most difficult piece of this project. If you want to see us continue building fun stuff, drop an idea in the comments and turn in your notifications. Lastly, ladies and gentlemen, do not forget to drop a like because you might want to come back and rewatch this. And on a difficulty level between 1 and 5, I'm thinking this is probably a 3. If you live in the Minnesota area and you guys think it is too difficult for you, don't be afraid to call the pros at Ardmore Construction. The link for our website's in the bio. Till next episode on how to, I'll see you guys later.